All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of ERP, which tonight stands for Escher's Rice Pudding. If your rice pudding is too comprehensible and you want something a little bit more unique and surreal, try Escher's Rice Pudding. Tonight's episode is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, and I'm not going to let that die. I've never been much of a mobile gamer, but forget everything you think you know about mobile games because Raid Shadow Legends. I'm not going to start.
I have no
Be a
idea
special
what
promo
it's
code
about.
for free silver.
We've lost another viewer.
Yeah, it's one of the most ambitious RPG projects of 2019. It's just been released. It will change everything. Just look at the level details of these characters.
I'm very
If you use the code in the
confused.
description, you can start with 50,000 silver and join the
I'm just
special
gonna mute the
launch
dungeon
tournament.
master for a sec here.
I don't want
Gotta
to
get
sued.
that money.
Sponsorships.
What do you mean sued? I'm advertising them for free. No, seriously, Raid Shadow Legends, if you're listening, hit me
They're
up.
not.
I think it's more we apply. I don't think they reach out to people.
They
Oh, we're back
can
to
hit
Raid.
me up. Anywho, last session, you followed the blind dog Orville to the edge of the city of Redwater and search for your wayward warlock, Zane Snevius. There he is. Upon discovering or having your suspicions of his location, you engaged in combat with a group of mercenaries who Quirin discovered called themselves the Black Harvest, led by Malcolm, a man you had rescued from the Jade Basin while you were aboard the Ashen Heart. Through some clever trickery, good use of spells, you were able to dispel the magical crate that contained Zane and released him from his prison and his tiefling napping. A battle ensued. Many of the mercenaries fell fairly easily, a lot easier than the dungeon master predicted, but that's okay because math is hard. As well as through clever use of spells, through emotionally charged dog whipping, and me not being able to count to 2, you succeeded in slaying the werewolf warlock Malvain, which was Malcolm in his true form. You were quickly questioned by the guards, and in a moment where things looked like they may go poorly in the eyes of the law, one of the guards discovered the calling card of the flock on one of the mercenaries. You were deemed heroes and free to go for the time being. You made your way south back to the Snedius household, which was ready for a nice dinner. The dinner was, of course, reheated, and you were joined by the Redwater native Faith, and that is her name, Faith, not Hope. The Dungeon Master was tired 2 weeks ago, and he apologizes. And a fairly awkward dinner ensued, involving a bet between 2 parents, finally settled, so it would seem. 2 reanimated corpses in the kitchen, just kind of de-animating, and were promptly put outside. Awkward small talk commenced, and it was revealed through, well, at least to Zane at this point, that Arthur Snedius, Zane's father, worked with Faith's uncle that she lived with, the Dean, Victor Latimer. And that's where we left off last session. So, to set the scene for you all, Zane, you are the only one currently who has this information. The rest of you, you're sitting around the table, you're all looking on expectantly as an audience almost to what is essentially a 3-way conversation with Zane acting as the translator. And Zane, you're given this information, you kind of freeze for a moment. There's an awkward silence. What would you all like to do?
After taking a deep breath, I'm going to try and compose myself and head back inside and sit down quietly.
All right. So in this silence, you hear the door open, and a flustered Alastair makes his way back in.
Sorry, I had to take a moment to gather myself. Carry on.
Arthur kind of looks at you and says, oh, that's it's perfectly fine. Zane, do you did she answer you who I work with?
Yes, the dean.
Oh. He looks at you kind of shocked for a second, and he's trying to read your face. He's kind of giving you that look like actually, you know what? Zane, make an insight check for me.
Oh my god, okay.
I'm just curious here. Oh, I'm in the wrong chat here on my computer. 20. You know your father pretty well. You two are pretty close. And the look he's giving you right now is that look of, kind of like, hey, yeah, like, good job. That, sleeping with the dean's daughter. That kind of like good boy look. Well, he kind of stammers over his words for a second. He looks. Well, that is certainly very interesting. Tell her her uncle is a very good man, and I enjoy working for him. And he kind of starts stammering on a whole bunch of very much schmoozy, brown-nosy kind of comments to you, Zane, which are all fairly generic and you've heard before.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, as he's talking, there is a very loud knock at the door. Almost as if someone is pounding on it with their fist. Not a polite knock. And Janira kind of looks around and goes, would one of you boys mind would one of you mind getting that? This is kind of an important conversation.
I will get it.
Up.
Oh,
Okay.
The more the merrier.
both go.
Okay. So it's Quirin and Mo?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. So you both walk down the hallway, and just as you get to the door, there's another loud just boom, 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 boom. It's like, okay, the door is shaking off the hinges. Who opens the door?
I'll open the door.
Okay. So opening the door, you're not entirely sure what you were expecting on the other side. With such a forceful knock, a knock of authority. And standing there is a half-elf man in regalia and garb similar to the tabards and colors that the guards wear, but not armored. It appears more of like what's the word I'm looking for? A formal dress for a guard. And he's flanked behind him by two guards in the traditional Redwater setup that you've seen before. He kind of stands there, and he's got a weathered face and kind of a graying pointed beard, very dark but bright, wily eyes. And he kind of looks over the pair of you and goes, so we are looking for a furbolg and a turtle.
They're dead in the back.
He kind of sighs for a second and goes, if you don't mind, I'd like to come in and question you lot. I'm assuming you and whoever else is housed in this abode are the ones responsible for the mess earlier this evening.
I wouldn't say the Zenedius household, but the rest of us, yeah.
if you don't mind, I'd like to come in and ask some questions. We seem to have quite a bit to talk about. Allow me first to introduce myself. Kind of looking at you, Mo, and if I know Mo, you're kind of giving the scowl stink eye right now, I assume.
Well, I was more. I'm giving the
What are you
one sort,
doing?
and I was going to say, you did say that he looks different from the.
Yes, he looks more formal.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Do
kind
I
of-
recognize
No, you don't recognize this gentleman.
His dress? Why more meant the
Um,
dress? Like
The dress? No, you don't recognize his dress. Again, it's very similar to the guards, but definitely not meant for combat. It's very much it's more ornate, but it's not battle gear by any means.
Hmm.
It's like a tabard with some frills, and he's got maybe some like shoulder pads, I guess you could call them, on top. He kind of looks and goes, "I'll introduce myself. My name is Jorsen Venrona. I am the captain of the guard here in Redwater. And I'd like to speak to whoever is responsible for the capture and slaying of one of the more sought-after criminals in," kind of looks up, "in the entirety of the kingdom. It's a very..."
Well, you speaking to two of them. The rest.
I think I'd like to speak to your half-orc friend, because he kind of looks around for a second as if he goes, "I do believe, sir, that somebody may have either used your visage or perhaps mind controlled you or something, because the description given to me for a crime earlier in the day matches that of the one I was given for two of the people who did this wonderful favor for me and my guard troop. And I'd like to know how things add up."
Well, I don't think they appreciate a fight inside their house, so.
Oh, of course
follow
not. No.
us. I'll just turn around.
Okay.
I'll
Quern,
just
what are
kind
you
of-
doing?
We were having dinner. Come, there's still some left.
Excellent. He kind of turns to the guards and he says, "Stand post. No one in, no one out." He kind of looks to the one and says, "Stay awake." Yes, Captain." Heads inside, follows you down both of you down the hallway, and kind of walks into the dining room. And the rest of you, the Sinetius household is not small by any means, but it's not big enough that you did not just hear the conversation. So, Quirn and Mo, you go back into the dining room kitchen area. We take
have
your
a
seats.
Visitor.
He stands there and says, "Hello, I do apologize for my intrusion. My name is Jorsen Venrona. I'm the captain of the guard here in Redwater. I'm here to discuss the bounty on one Malcolm Stormclaw, known by many names. Most common appears to be Malvain. The body that was recovered up the street is one that matches his description, as well as his MO of transporting people and goods with a number of higher E's. We followed a trail of refuse leading from the scene of the battle to this home," and he kind of looks over to you, Quirin, and you're still covered in shit.
At this point, it's mostly dry.
It's mostly dry, but it's like some of it is kind of like gotten on your boots and was falling off, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that was definitely me."
Scratch some of it off.
Quirin, this is why I took off my armor.
No.
Kind of looks and goes, "So somebody would mind directing me to the two corpses of the two perpetrators that escaped? And he kind of raises an eyebrow at the word escaped.
Yes. I'll
They're in the
stand up.
back.
Stand up and shovel more food in my mouth before over this way. And open the back
I'm
door.
not sure they didn't. Zaz, I think you'd be the best person to explain how they followed us.
Sure. I was okay. Yeah. Let's let's head on back.
I don't know how that worked.
Okay. And he kind of follows you two into the back. Walks out, and the two corpses are still there, kind of leaning against the apple tree in the back. It's starting at this point to get dark now, so there's the two bodies look pretty they look pretty spooky, actually. Especially with what Zaz, your ability does to their eyes. They're kind of black and lifeless, but with the shadows that are forming now just at dusk, there's a real spooky air about these two corpses leaning against this old gnarled apple tree. He kind of walks out and goes, "All right, that is definitely the pair that matched our descriptions. How did you go about bringing them here and disposing of them?"
Mushrooms and mushrooms, actually.
Interesting. He kind of looks over you for a second and goes, "I assume you're some form of purveyor of the arcane arts, I guess would be the most polite way to say it."
Sure.
Okay. All right. Not necessarily uncommon for necromancy, but it is frowned upon by the general public. We're going to turn a blind eye. He's kind of got a grin to him at this point, a smirk, and he's like, "I'm going to turn a blind eye, just due to the nature of what has occurred. I will send my guards to bring these two and dispose of them. We do need some identification into various other clerical duties." Kind of looks up for a second. He goes, "And clerical, of course, meaning paperwork. We're not healing. Anywho."
Yeah, I didn't think that. Thank you.
No, of course, yes. Just
Thank you, because I was very confused.
Who else is out here with me? Is it just me and the two guys?
No,
And
I'm there
Alastair.
as well.
And Alastair?
Yeah.
Okay. To the two gentlemen that I don't know, I'm gonna kind of like lean in a
there's
little
only
bit.
one actual guy that you don't know. The two guards are actually still out front. They never came in the house.
My bad. So leaning into the guy that I don't know, I'm gonna kind of like point towards the two and say like, between the two of them, who is supposed to be the strongest? You said one of them is like super important, yeah?
No, actually, the one that was super important would have been the werewolf, for lack of a better term. As far as we understand, these four, following with what Malcolm has done in the past, he finds a group of ne'er-do-wells and thieves and other undesirable folk, and offers them a fair amount of coin to do his dirty work and not ask questions. From what we have determined, between me as well as the guard captain in Islesbury and Dragontail and Eastcliff and everywhere else, the Black Harvest is not actually really a group, but more so whatever Malvain or Malcolm or whatever name he's going by as the flavor of the week, calls his underlings that he has hired. Dreadful work. They never seem to survive.
Neither does he.
Ah, evidently, and we will get to that shortly. But looking at you now, Laster goes, "Sir, there is a matter I do need to discuss with you, as well as your red-headed friend inside there. It is very important because I
Is it
do
private?
As long as you don't mind your compatriots hearing, I
I
assume.
mean, we're a team. We're friends. There's nothing I
Excellent.
wouldn't. Let
Well,
them
and
know.
if you are a team, and you are a team of mercenaries, as has shown by your slaughter of a dastardly criminal, I, for one, feel as if you all need to be aware of what is going on.
Can I tell if he's being sincere when he is talking to us? Or
Make
is
an
there an
insight
air of
check.
smugness?
Make an insight check.
I'm actually not bad at this. 16.
16. He there is an air of smugness, but it doesn't seem to be a smugness in regards to what he's saying to you. He seems just generally full of himself and kind of pompous, but from what you can tell, he is being sincere.
Yes, well, I'm sure we could go into the den or the study away from the Senadius
Of course,
family,
of course.
I suppose.
All right. Well, it's good that these two are. He kind of pauses for a second and looks over to you, Zaz, and goes, I'm not exactly a magic user myself. They're not going to get back up.
If you wait till tomorrow, I can have them walk to you, but otherwise, of their own fruition, nah.
Interesting. Sorry, that's funny as hell. That's pretty good. He goes, that won't be necessary. I have two very able-bodied gentlemen out front who, have informed me that they let two suspects go earlier today, and, that's why they're here with me right now. So, if you don't mind, gentlemen, let us go back inside. Now, before you three go back inside, at the dinner table, you see the three of them walk outside, and Arthur and Janira are kind of looking at each other and looking over at Zane, and Faith as well. You guys notice Faith has a look of recognition at this gentleman that has just walked in the house. And Arthur looks at you, Quirin, and goes, looks at you, Quirin and Mo, and goes, why did he say he was here?
I believe it has to do with the incident earlier.
Okay.
And I unfortunately those two, I think, as a byproduct of Zaz's magic, followed him, and I think, well, we are quite filthy, and I believe the trail was easy to follow.
Also because we stole from somebody earlier.
We accepted a job, and
okay. All right. So,
work is hard to find.
Mm-hmm. Well, Captain, this is Janira now. She goes, well, Captain Jorson is a good man, and he's worked very hard on helping us in the past. Hopefully we're not all in trouble. And Zane, at this point, Faith, as always, is signing to you, but we're going to skip over all of that just to make it easier. And she kind of turns to you and says, my uncle says to watch out for that captain. Says there's something wrong with him.
I use Awakened Mind / say back.
Of course.
Okay, of course.
So at this point, the conversation kind of falls quiet and everyone continues eating. What, is there something random fun I'm missing? Oh my god. God damn it.
Oh no.
Just Zane staring off into space and Faith doing that fucking fast as hell.
Oh my god. That is vaguely offensive in some kind of weird way. I'm not sure how. Anywho, moving on. The table kind of falls quiet. And you all begin eating again. The three of them come back in, and Jorson kind of goes, all right, you there, human with the red hair. If you and your friend here wouldn't mind joining me in another room. And he kind of turns to Arthur and says, Arthur, I do apologize that I am here once again. Would you mind if I go take these two into the front room that you have there? And he goes, of course, it's nice seeing you again. He goes, well, this time it's on better terms than the last. He begins walking out to the front room. Alastair and Mo, do you follow?
Yes.
Okay. Zaz, make a perception check.
Okay. Boop.
So as they go to follow, you kind of turn your head, and in your peripherals, you can see your one shoulder where all the mushrooms are.
Mhm.
And you look among them, and there's kind of a purple greenish moss that is kind of on its own little clump of dirt or something that wasn't there before.
Like on my shoulder?
On your shoulder.
And it's just like a clump of dirt?
It's like a clump of dirt with a lichen or a moss that was growing on top of it.
Okay.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check for me, actually, on top of that.
Just straight intelligence?
Just a straight intelligence check, yes.
19.
19. Okay. You look at it and you're like, and you think back and think of like Jimmy Neutron Brain Blast. That's kind of what I'm saying. You think back and you remember that when you were in the sewer with the boat, the top mast had scraped along the top of the sewer and had scraped something free, which had fallen on you.
Oh. When we did the boat thing and it kind of like jammed in there and we just scraped it along.
Scraped it along. You remember that stuff fell and you'd kind of brush most of it off and you look and you're like, okay, that's what that is. Okay. And we'll get back to that. Alastair and Mo. You follow the half-elf gentleman, the captain of the guard, Jorson. You follow him to the front room, and he kind of sits in a chair. Kind of does that thing where somebody clasps their hands together and puts their elbows on their knees, kind of leaning forward. Fingers at a point, almost like he's doing the finger guns, but together, and he's resting his chin between his thumb and his pointer finger. He's just kind of looking at both of you. Well, gentlemen, it may surprise you to know, you two match a description of two people leaving a lawyer's office in the remains known as Bronson and Bronson. Would you two have any idea of why that is?
I look at Mo.
Well, I'm sure you're aware we don't necessarily usually think things through to end up at that stage.
So, would I be safe in assuming it was indeed you two and not somebody parading as you?
What? Okay, give me a rundown of what would happen if it was us.
Well, He kind of pauses for a second. He goes, let me choose my words very carefully here. I'm not accusing you two of anything. Your actions today have shown Redwater that you are indeed heroes. Malcolm Stormclaw was a fiend. He was a horrible individual. And he is now dead. Oh? Connectivity issues?
Yes. And we're back.
He goes, he was a fiend and a horrible individual, and now he's dead at your hands. Now, whether that was infighting amongst the flock, or perhaps a bounty on somebody's head, or for whatever other reason, right now you are both in the public eye very much exalted.
All I really
Revered.
care about is, would I be barred from going back to the remains?
Of course not.
Well, then
The
yes.
only bars... Yes. Interesting. So...
I mean, I was around that area. I don't...
Well... The individual that reported the break-in, which I'm sure you two are aware of now at this point, we have a name for him. We call him Sly Jimmy. He's not the most reliable, or even sane, for that matter. But he was able to describe two large individuals, one half-orc, one human with red hair and scars, in black, and the half-orc, handsome, as you were described.
Really?
Yes, indeed. And it's an easy way to pick you out. However, when we went and searched the offices of Bronson & Bronson, we found it completely ransacked, a golem destroyed. It's unfortunate, as Bronson & Bronson are very kind and reputable individuals. The items that they reported stolen were a number of magical tomes that were set to be put up for auction to raise money to help out the College of Ioun with their financial troubles. There was a foldable boat, apparently, that was also set to be put on auction, as well as 200 platinum pieces were taken that were of their own money that they were going to use to match the auction's proceeds. So you two, of course, being reputable individuals and I'm assuming enemies of the flock, don't exactly match the calling card left. The flock themselves don't leave calling cards, and one was left from a pignog. No, it was a pib. It was pib. He's kind of looking. He goes, 1 second. He pulls out a small piece of parchment. He goes, Pibnog. It sounds like a made-up name to me. And he kind of puts it back. He goes, so I'd like for one of you to explain to me exactly how you got there, what you were doing, and how you found it. Because if you tampered with anything, I need to know, as this is an ongoing criminal investigation, gentlemen.
Well, I can tell you exactly why I was there. The reason that I was there was I was finally spoken to by the Platinum Dragon. Now, have you heard of the Platinum Dragon?
I have. My studies in the College of Ioun were actually religion.
Well, then, are you a follower?
I myself follow Ioun, as knowledge is a wonderful thing to have. But I do understand
Now
Bahamut.
let me tell you the glory of the Platinum Dragon.
Let me tell you why I don't care right now. I am
Last
a man of the law.
footnotes. He-
Right. Okay.
He doesn't.
Exactly.
So many gods, I'm sure, have very selective times when they speak to you, and I was told by my god to go to that exact location to find something underground. And I was looking on the ground outside for that location. I was looking for a door or a staircase maybe, or some sort of sign that there was something underneath. And that was the reason I was there. And I'll take my coin purse and look. I've never even seen 200 platinum. I mean, this is what I've got. And I show him the
As for myself,
168 gold that I currently have.
Okay. All right. And yes, you.
Alastair is. You have his reasons. Mine are a bit more hard to believe.
I'll humor you.
Where are you from? I don't mean to be rude, but that's not the garb that the people of Redwater wear. You're of a higher standing. Perhaps you've...
I myself, I report back and forth between Redwater and Dragontail as the captain of the guard. This is an interesting case, especially with the killing of a very wanted man-beast. So I do reside in Redwater, but I am from Dragontail, yes.
And although I have met a few. He's a half-elf, right?
Yep.
I've met a few half-elves in my time, and I know that you do have longer lifespans. So maybe you remember a bit more history than us. I took my chainmail off, so I just turn around. I show him the tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I went to visit the statue and the remains. For some reason, my name's on there. And yet I still live. It's quite a... I am the son of the Manticore. And although they say I am dead, I am quite alive. But the cost of that is that a portion of my life is blank. And when I learned that the statue was there and that apparently my family fell at the hands of the flock, I went there and we did spend a regrettable amount of time lost. So I don't know if that's how your friend saw us, but we did get lost. We did narrowly avoid being mugged. And I'll just sip my coin purse, which is like
if
about
you're the son of
400
a
or 500.
manticore, where are your wings?
It's a title.
Indeed. I don't find that exactly unbelievable. As I, unfortunately, there, young, if I recall, your name is Moradior.
That is my given name, yes.
Indeed it is. I don't exactly find that hard to believe, as, well, your sister does still indeed live in Dragontail, so that statue may not necessarily be accurate.
Wait.
There's many yes.
You've met her. You've met one of them since.
Oh, yes.
I'm just kind of head in hands. Just kind of...
kind of looks at you and goes, You don't remember much, do you? Perhaps this is a conversation for another day. I didn't know your father well. I'll make that clear right now. But I did know of him, and I did meet him on a number of occasions. If I do recall, he stood guard as the king's personal bodyguard, for lack of a better term, after his heroism during that coup, directly after the Goblin Integration Act. We can have a discussion later. If you wish, I can send to Dragontail for your sister, though I cannot guarantee she will be available, as she's a very busy woman these days.
I don't mean to be rude, and I do appreciate your kindness, but I think that sort of shock would be best to be delivered in person.
Fair enough.
If you could provide me with whatever information you have on her current dwelling and whatever business she has, I would be happy with that.
Well, I think if you get to Dragontail, and simply ask around, she should not be hard to find. He's kind of smiling like he's got a big kind of stupid like I got a secret grin on his face. He goes, your names have been given to the High Palace in Dragontail. Let's be aware of that. So she is currently residing there. And if I do recall, she will be very easy to get a hold of. Do you know which of your sisters?
As you made clear, I'm missing.
It's Margaret.
Thank you.
Of course. Now, as for your tales, deception checks, the pair of you. I made you guys think you got away with it. I want deception checks from both of you.
So tell me this: you don't have wings, but you're hiding a tail from me.
Standard or
So I'm gonna say this is standard, but one of you can make it with advantage instead of both of you making it.
I have a +4 in deception.
I have a -1. Go ahead.
Okay.
Alaster with advantage then.
Nat 20.
Natural 20.
Woo!
All right. Except there's no natural successes on skill checks.
That's fair.
But
24.
Okay. Just curious for Mo's
I
here.
did it.
Oh, you did it backwards. That's fine. We'll get to that in a second. He goes, as for your stories, I believe you.
I mean, you're a man of faith.
Oh my god! Atta boys! Alright, double nat 20s. Okay, alright.
I can feel
Fucking
my blood pressure.
Fucking lion boys. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. That's fine. I'm not gonna take you to jail or nothing, fuckers. Shut up, John! He kind of suspects. Well, I believe you both. If you have any knowledge about the whereabouts of this Pibnog, I would be most grateful. You can find me at the captain's office in the scholars ward. It's not far from here. However, there is another point of order that does need to be discussed with your entire group.
Well, let's
So-
go back to the kitchen, I suppose.
He does the British thing and slaps his thighs. and
What's
says,
oldest then?
Yeah, right. Gets up. Now, while that conversation was happening, dinner continues on. It's a little awkward, as now it's just Faith, Zane, Janira, Arthur, Quirn, and Zaz. Zaz, you've just noticed this small patch of lichen. What are you guys doing right now?
Eating food.
Okay.
Yeah, just eating.
Just eating. It's pretty quiet, a little awkward, a little tense as the guards have just came through. The guard has just kind of come in and talked. And at a certain point, Arthur kind of looks up and goes, Quirin, if I may be very honest with you,
Okay.
you stink.
Well, I went through a sewer, got guts on me, and then was drug around the entire city, so that is understandable.
Yes. I'm not entirely sure how familiar you are with society. Do you know what bathing is? And you see Janira kind of elbow.
Is that Dad?
Your dad.
I shoot him a look.
He's kind of looking at Janira, kind of elbow. He goes, I understand. However, he is from the mountains. You might not know. Quirin, do you...
I fully understand what bathing is. It has been a long time since I have, and we have just run through a city in the sewer to get the sun back. I know that I stink. It is pungent.
Well, indeed. And I do not mean to be rude, as I do appear to have come off as such. However, Janira and I are both very grateful for what you did for our son today. And I would like to treat Zane and you as well, Zaz, Quirin, and the other two once they're done. If you all would like, we have an absolutely fantastic bathhouse in town.
Did somebody say
you thought I was fucking joking, didn't you?
Oh no, not a bathhouse episode. It's not a bathhouse episode.
ERP.
Oh jeez.
He goes, it is fairly pricey. It is called the Marble Baths. However, I will happily put out the coin if you would all like for an evening just to relax and unwind, maybe clean some blood or shit off of you.
The question, do they have private rooms?
Not entirely sure. We can ask when we get there.
That would be for the best.
Well, you don't have... Never mind. Perhaps that's something we'll talk about after dinner with the other two. Because, going to be perfectly honest, Mo stinks too. And Janira goes, Arthur, I'm sorry.
No, it is fine. Honesty is best. There is many things we wish to talk about, and many things we must talk about. And I'm gonna look directly to Zane. Many things.
Zane swallows his spit. He chokes.
Faith kind of puts a hand on your back and kind of pats you. And at the sound of like the golden retriever puppy, which has been kind of like sniffing around Orville at this point, kind of goes up and kind of scratches at your leg. She kind of picks him up, puts him on the lap, and Zane, Janira, your mom goes, oh, he's adorable. And he looks at you, Zane, and goes, can you ask her what his name is?
DM, do I remember the dog's name? Or did
No, you don't.
Okay, then I ask Faith, what's your? Did you decide on a name?
She kind of looks at you, and she kind of looks down, and she signs back, I haven't named him because I don't see a point in naming him, as I won't be calling it out.
Nothing to refer to it in your head by?
She kind of smiles and she goes, I call him Dog.
Oh.
Doug.
I guess I
His
kind
name's
of
Doug.
I got the feels.
I guess I kind of explained the situation to my mother in a lower voice.
She's like,
Why?
oh. She's like, oh, well, Zane, maybe you should start calling it a name.
And then move in together.
Spoolie, I'm letting you name the dog.
I wouldn't know. Oh my god, this is a lot of pressure. Are you gonna roleplay a dog until I name it?
Yes.
How many dogs are there? Just
Just two.
Orville and this other one?
Yep. Don't. Yeah.
I will name the dog Lucky.
Lucky.
Oh.
Okay, that's a good name. She kind of turns and looks at you, and she kind of signs back. She goes, "Oh, excuse me." She doesn't burp like that. That's beer. That's DM beer. That's what that is. She signs back. Why did you just say Lucky?
I figured it would be a nice name for your dog. He's very lucky to have you.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Really?
Yeah, that's how flirting works.
Don't you fucking do this to me.
Sorry, did you say perception or persuasion?
Persuasion. Roll for pussy melting.
Ooh.
I'm usually
Come
better at this in
on.
real life.
Roll a 1. Damn it.
You have advantage.
Oh,
You have advantage on this, so you can
do
roll
I
again.
roll again?
Yep, we'll take
There's
the
no
higher
sense
one.
in me rolling again because that was pretty good.
It could be a
already.
nat 20. Definitely not. She kind of blushes and she signs back. Lucky, that's a good name. She kind of pets him, and the dog's kind of looking at you and looking at her. At this point, Alastair and Mo return with Jorson. And says, "Okay, if you two wouldn't mind sitting down, I'd like to address everyone at the table. Today, Malcolm Stormclaw was killed. At this junction, based on what locals who were there have heard, we do believe that Malcolm was responsible for the death of Janine Sinetius. So Arthur and Janira, we are going to call that as case closed and justice dealt as best as we can."
Zane kind of puffs out his chest slightly.
He goes, Arthur kind of looks down and goes, "I would have liked to face him myself, but I suppose that's closure." He goes, "And I do understand it is not necessarily polite of me to go from such somber news to such happy news, but the rest of you, gentlemen involved in the combat, I must say, locals were very impressed. You're a bit of celebrities at this point. As well, Malcolm had quite the hefty price on his head."
Cool.
Cool indeed. So, if you are a mercenary group or an adventuring party, which of you handles the coin?
We distribute that democratically.
Yeah, we're all a
Admirable.
team. It all kind of goes in the middle of the pot, and we decide who gets it when they need it.
Well, he kind of reaches down to a fairly large coin purse attached to his belt. He picks it, puts it on the table, and goes, "That is 150 platinum."
Oh.
Were there any rewards or bounties for any of his associates that we also handled?
As far as the associates, none of them were actually on our radar, and as far as we can tell, none of them were actually from Redwater. The one that matched the description is actually the turtle in the backyard there, which, do not worry, Snedius family, I will have them removed shortly. Matches a description of a thief down in Aylesbury. Very far away. We suspect that one was possibly the second in command, or perhaps the one with the longest tenure in Malvane's Black Harvest. So, at this point, I would like to say thank you very much. Please do not take the law into your own hands again. However, if you see any more flock, feel free to do what you will with them. In terms of a story I was told earlier, points to you, Alastair. In the remains, there is indeed some form of catacombs or underground facility crafted many years ago. Most of it is indeed collapsed. I can't get the word out tonight, unfortunately, as it is far too late. However, if you do head back, looks around the table, to the remains, or to any particular vendor in the remains, looking at you all slowly, I will ask my guards to give you free rein. You may come and go as you please in that area of the city. Do not make me regret it.
But the rain falls from the sky. It's always free.
He kind of pauses and kind of...
With a G. Like you would rein a horse.
Oh.
That was a backwards exchange, boys.
Some druidic wisdom from
Yeah.
Zaz.
Is there guns? Rain comes from the sky. God damn it. He goes, oh, okay. Excellent. But no, you can come and go through the remains as you see fit. As of tomorrow night, like I said, it's a little bit of short notice. If you don't mind me asking, you've had a nice dinner. What are your plans for the rest of the evening?
Apparently I'm to take a bath.
Thank God.
Gonna take a piece and flick it at him.
Rest.
I probably deserve that.
Well, we'd best be going, I suppose.
All right. Well, if I may suggest the marble baths, it is lovely. I was just there this morning.
Ooh, do they have private rooms?
I'm not entirely sure. I've never asked.
Nobody knows.
Well, I'm
For
sure we'll find
bathing-
out. Let's go, gentlemen.
Oh, okay. At this point, he
I haven't had
goes. At this point, he goes. If you two could kindly come in here, please. I have some bodies you need to remove. And you hear as the two armored guards kind of come down the hallway. Oh yeah, it points out back, and they head out back, and a couple beats go by, and you hear as they're both dragging a furbolg and a turtle. Not small,
Shark bodies.
heckin' large lads.
Some chonkin lads.
All right. Well, we'll be off with our prize. You have a good evening. And they promptly leave.
Well,
Arthur kind of looks at you, Alastair, and goes, okay. So, I'm not sure if you overheard, but we're talking bathhouse.
Yes. Yes, I'm
Use a
excited.
bath.
The last time I had a bath was when I was speaking to Elginod. And I'm looking forward to it, actually.
He looks over at Janira and goes, do you remember Alganod? She goes, yeah, that traitorous thing. It's like,
A traitor?
she kind of sighs. She goes, so if you tell an aboleth, it's like, I have a crush on this boy as your knowledge, and then he gives you test answers, and then that boy goes, I have a crush on this girl, it turns out Alganod will tell him.
Zane, that's where you come from!
What?
He kind of turns and goes, Alganod let me know that your mother fancied me.
He's a matchmaker too! I love Elginod, he's great!
Indeed he is. And Janira looks visibly sour. Like, just like, it's like, fucking fish. Like, just,
My favorite being.
I hate
Alright,
it as
well,
well.
I'm going to gather up my armor. Thank you so much for dinner and for putting up with myself and the law and everything else. I'm sure I'll meet all of you there. And I'll get up and start packing up my stuff and heading out.
Okay. And as you leave, the rest of you just kind of sit there, and Arthur watches you leave and goes, so does he know where he's going?
Not
Nope.
at all. He's an
Not
idiot.
a clue.
No idea.
Yeah.
He's
All
probably
right.
lost already.
Gotcha. All right. Let's go. And he kind of looks down at the bag and goes, boys, as much as I want to be sly and a thief, who's going to be taking this 150 platinum on my kitchen table?
What's that divide up to even?
300 gold pieces.
I'm just gonna
Each.
take
Yeah.
my share.
All right.
And the Alastair walked away from his, so I'm gonna take that.
All right. You're taking his share. Okay.
Quirin.
I'll give it to him later.
How much did you say I get?
It was
300.
300 gold pieces.
Thanks, Holmes.
Or
How
you
many
can put
do we get
30
each?
I
platinum.
did the math as soon
Yes.
as he said it.
Sorry, how many gold pieces do we get each?
300 each.
Holy jeez.
That's not a reward meant for you guys at level 6. That is my own stupidity, and that's a reward I had preset. It's not fair for me to change the reward based on your level. So.
DM, question.
Answer.
How much was that flying carpet again?
I have to bring up
Like 150,000 gold?
No, it wasn't. It was.
It wasn't
It was in
300.
it was in the 60,000s. One sec. I have to bring up Oh, here we go. Carpet of flying. There it is. 14,400.
Okay.
The sword I want's like 67, so.
No, it's 163.
Ah, that's it.
All right. So, at this point, you all stand up, and Faith looks at you, Zane, very confused.
Maya, we're going out. Would you like me to walk you home?
She signs back, I'd like that. ERP.
ERP.
Stop!
Come on!
So, the rest of you, one sec here. The rest of you head out, and Faith is following. And as you leave, Zane, you hear your mother go, "That's fine. I'll just clean up." And it's like, "That's just fine. I'll just make a nice dinner and watch my son just blow a werewolf away." And now I've got to do all the dishes by myself while the boys all go drink and go. Just kind of like mumbling angrily to herself. Zane, you get the feeling that the Algonaut thing, real sore spot, like really sore spot. Still after 30 years.
Before anyone comes out,
yes,
I'm pretty much just walking forward towards city center. But I've pulled out the dimensional shackles.
Okay.
And I'm kind of just looking at them in my hands. And like visibly upset.
Investigation check.
Ooh, okay. Thank God. 12.
DC was 10. You notice they've got the runes on them.
Yeah.
Have a slight glow to them. For whatever reason. And you're looking and you're uneasy. And you're looking over the runes, which are a collection of lines and kind of scrapes and swooshes. But then you notice something on those shackles you didn't see before. At the base of each shackle, you see a marking of what looks like a white handprint. And in the center of that handprint is a counterclockwise spiral. Religion check.
I'm not great at this.
Oh shit.
Whoa! Okay, apparently I'm decent. 22.
On a nat
You
20.
look at it, and okay, the DC for this was high, so a natural 20. I will give this to you. Okay. You look at the symbol, and it's confusing. It's like, why? This doesn't make any sense. This isn't a rune. And you look, and something kind of connects. It's kind of like watching a breadboarded circuit go together in Alastair's brain currently, as very crossed wires and stuff in his not very bright mind begin to fire up.
All I'm hearing is grinding gears.
Grinding gears. And you look and you go...
A hamster in the corner going...
Yeah, exactly.
I imagine more of like dwarves at a forge, where it's like a slow tink, and then it's like slowly a cacophony of hammers.
Yeah, you look down and you're like,
bellow.
That's not a rune. And you look and you're like, I recognize that symbol. And you're thinking, and you can see yourself sitting at a desk, a young half-orc. You're sitting at a desk, and there's a book in front of you, and it's a book of symbols of gods. And you're flipping through, and you're looking at all the pictures, and you see the caduceus of Ioun, and you see the flaming torch of Pelor, and you see the shackles of Bane. You see the beautiful dragon head of Bahamut, and you remember turning through, and the symbols get darker. You see a nine-pointed star from Asmodeus. You see a spider for Lulth. And as you turn the last page, you see the handprint with the counterclockwise spiral. And underneath, the only word that you see in your head is Tharizdun.
Oh my god. Are you freaking out? You cut out. Tanner cut out.
Not for me.
Oh, come on.
He sees He sees the symbol in his head again. He sees it as he flips through the book, and the only word he sees underneath that symbol is Tharizdun.
Tharizdun.
Anywho, back to the other guys.
We're walking out to see him holding his chain.
Zane, at this point, you take off in the other direction towards Faith's house.
All right.
As they part ways, and I can read body language.
Yeah.
I just kind of stick my hand in front of Zane, and I just have a folded piece of paper. And I meant to give you to that earlier.
Oh. Okay. Should I open it?
At your own discretion.
Okay. And I start to leave with Faith.
Okay. Arthur kind of goes, Zane, where are you going?
I'm taking Faith home.
Oh, okay. We'll wait here for you. She probably doesn't...
I know where to go.
Okay. Well, we'll get a room and get back to you.
But remember, we have to talk.
So will they.
Do you remember that video game Shower with Your Dad?
Yeah. What? Oh. That's fair. That's fair. Very fair.
This stream is brought to you by Shower with Your Dad. Find it now on Steam.
This stream is brought to you in the shower with my dad. Anywho, we're back on track now. So as the rest of you walk up and this little thing goes on, and Zane, I will get to you. I do apologize. The rest of you walk up, and Alastair's just sitting there, and he's looking at these manacles. Alastair, what is your expression right now? And now, not talking to Alastair, Corey.
Yes.
Be aware of what Alastair would know, not what Corey knows. I know it's gonna be tough. It was a high DC. It's your own fucking fault.
Wide-eyed, panicked,
Mm-hmm.
and then hears a noise behind me and turns around, and oh, hi, and then shoves the shackles back into my bag.
Why did you have those out?
Reminiscing. I have no idea where we're going. Where are we going?
We have
Actually,
to wait for Zane.
Alastair.
Yeah.
Perception check.
Okay. Oh my god. My heart is racing. I have goosebumps.
There's
7.
Okay, that's fine.
Do any of us notice any?
No, what Alastair just noticed on his manacles,
I meant
his shackles.
We.
No, what he just noticed is very small. It's not like it's a big thing. It's like, oh shit, look at that. No, it's like he was actively looking at them.
Oh, I meant, do we notice anything when he turned around and?
Oh, you see him put them away.
Oh, okay, that's just it. Okay. You can never ask too many
wide-eyed
questions.
panic for a moment, and then it's like, oh yes, I'm normal. Look at me. I'm just being goofy and don't know where I'm going. Yep, that's me.
Will we have to wait for Zane to walk back?
Actually, Zane does know the way to the marble baths, so I can just... This is Arthur talking. I can just lead us there. It's not far.
True,
Yes,
but
lead the way, please.
I would have liked to have a conversation, because there is many things we have to talk about. With your son, your boss, and, well, many things.
Okay, would you gentlemen like me to not join you in the bath?
No,
please.
you very much need to be there.
Okay. All right. Well, let's be off then. And he begins to lead you all, just to, right where City Center and the Burrows and the Scholars Ward kind of meet, in the kind of tri area there. And there was as he walks through, you see kind of people looking out and seeing you guys, and you see people wave to you, and people are whispering and get the idea that word travels pretty quick here in town.
They're waving at us.
Alastair's drinking it in, waving, winking at people.
This is
Fist
weird.
bump a person.
Oh, why are you touching him?
Adoring fans of the Devil's Advocates. Why wouldn't I?
Why would you want fans? It makes it harder to walk around and do things. Do you think people will not watch us when we are going to steal something from somebody?
Maybe we shouldn't steal from our adoring fans.
You literally helped us steal something not, 5-6
You
hours
should
ago?
probably lower your voice. Just a bit.
You actually, as you walk by, you hear one guy go, "Fuck yeah, Devil's Advocate, steal that shit."
See?
Okay, apparently it's alright.
So, apparently there's some kind of really fucking brazen dude in Redwater. Backstory to come.
There's a
You're
backstory
led
to
through, and Arthur kind of leads you to this very large building, just beautifully ornate, made completely of shining white marble, and there's red banners and all that. And he kind of leads you to the front steps and goes, "All right, I guess we wait for Zane, provided he wasn't invited in for coffee with my boss, his niece." And back to Zane. Zane.
Yep.
You walk silently with Faith and Lucky Faith. You kind of reach your doorstep. She kind of turns to face you, and again, signing, of course, says, "It sounds like you were in a lot of trouble today."
I'm okay. I always am.
She kind of looks down and she goes, "Well, just make sure nothing else bad happens to you." She kind of stands on her tiptoes as best as she can, because you're a tall fucker, and gives you a kiss on the cheek. And kind of turns almost immediately, awkwardly, and runs back inside. What was that?
Sorry.
Follow. Yeah, I'm gonna plow that bitch.
Oh my god.
What a
come
touching
on.
moment ruined by these assholes.
Can I get back to you guys in a minute? My mother's calling.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So you're just running back now.
Yeah, Zane, I'm going to assume that you are just returning. So, a few moments pass. You're outside the marble baths, just waiting awkwardly. What would you guys like to do?
So do you take
I'm
out
just-
chains often to stare at them, or?
We're good.
Okay.
I head back
No.
over.
So as this conversation is going on, Zane, you do rejoin the group.
No, I just felt a strong need to.
Is it because of those cult guys that you were talking about before?
Partially.
What are they called? The
Followers of Akron,
Legion.
which are complete lies.
The ranks of Akron. How about we talk inside?
Yeah, Zane. You're pretty quick. Everything okay?
Yeah. What do you mean quick?
Zane, go back there right now.
Did you finish the job?
Zane walks in without a word.
Zane, you had a mission.
Hey,
So-
Spoolie,
Mm.
that conversation actually happens a lot to guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really does. That was so real. It hurt. It hurt me physically to hear that. Did you do her? Fuck off. Yeah. God, man. We're assholes.
Men.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
know what we did.
So Zane heads inside, and Arthur's like, "Oh, guess we're going in." You head in, and you walking in. There's a beautiful crystal chandelier. Oh, excuse me, belching. There's flowers in golden pots. It is like the most posh hotel any of you've ever seen, but everything's marble. And you all stand out like incredibly sore thumbs amongst all of this. You kind of walk up, and there's a male halfling sitting behind a raised desk. He's got like black hair, kind of like combed back, almost like in a pompadour. He's got some glasses. He goes, "Well, hello there."
Yes, we'd like to partake in your bathhouse.
Well, I certainly assumed as much as you are here. Arthur, good to see you again. Likewise. He goes, "So, we have many large rooms. What can I get for you? Would you like a super large one? Would you like just a medium one?"
Something big enough for all of us.
Oh, we've got plenty. Unfortunately, we do not have private rooms. However, if it's a modesty thing, it is fairly steamy in each of our rooms, as well as each bath is drained and cleaned pretty much after every bath. So if you want to keep your armor on, be a little bit of the modest side there, big guy like you probably doesn't have to worry about what's underneath his belt. But that's perfectly fine. Does that sound good?
Yes, perfect.
Excellent. So, let's see. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. 6 large gentlemen. Look at that. Excellent. So, I can give you our king suite for an hour. The cost will, of course, be 150 gold pieces, as I'm sure you can understand.
I do believe that there was a call ahead by one of the guards, and they were going to cover that.
The captain that we were talking to?
Yes. I never caught his name or cared to remember it.
He kind of flips through a book. Make a deception check.
Okay, I could do that.
Because Arthur offered.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
I was gonna say, that was Arthur.
I wasn't really paying attention.
Well, now we're here. What if we learned?
16.
16. One sec, I gotta roll for this. Unfortunately, there's nothing here in the books, and nothing was sent ahead.
I look back. Arthur's with us, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
I look back and said, "Oh, Dad, did you call ahead, or are we paying for this now?"
He goes, just the halfling goes, "I'm not entirely sure exactly what you mean by call ahead. We do take reservations, but someone kind of has to be in the building to do so. We do have plenty of room. It's not a problem. I can give you the key." And he kind of holds it up, and he's looking and goes, 150 gold, and you get all clean and spick and span and naked and wet with each other, yes.
I would say that's worth 150 gold.
I would too. I'd say double even, especially with you.
Definitely not happening. I will pull out my share.
Not yet, at least.
Your share you haven't gotten.
Yeah.
Oh, of that, okay.
At this point, Arthur goes, "Hey, boys, I insist." And he kind of reaches into a coin purse and puts down 15 platinum. Goes, "Hopefully that covers it." He goes, "Yes, of course it does. Excellent. And he kind of grabs a key and goes, "And there you go. Have fun."
Thank you.
Tieflings and elves and half-orcs and big Goliath boys, oh my. I'm so glad you guys cannot
love this
see me.
fucking character.
I'm so glad you guys can't see me, because I've got the hands going and everything. Like, it is
perfect.
amazing.
This is so...
What happens when we walk through? I'm assuming it's just a doorway.
So walking in, it's kind of like there's a center bar and counter. My apologies. And then there's multiple different a dark walnut or maybe even maybe almost like a Paduke, kind of like the reddish with dark streaks in it kind of door. And each one has a lock on it, and it says King Suite on the one that you head to. And Arthur opens it up, and as you walk in, the room is just fucking ornate. In the center, there's a large circular bath with 4 pillars kind of cornering it on each side. There's red carpet leading up, not quite to the edge of the bath. As you get closer, you can see that the edge of the bath is inlaid with gold leaf, and it's very steamy, and it smells of lavender and other aromatics that you typically find in a bath. And you look down, the water is clear. You can see to the base.
Quite nicer than the ones they had in the Colosseum.
Well,
yes, it is.
When when in Dragon Tail, I suppose, and I'll disrobe and walk in.
Okay.
I'm taking my pack in, putting it on the side, and then just walking in with my armor.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll just kind of disrobe the top and are there towels or
there's like a whole bench with towels, and there's actually not quite a coat hook, but they're long bent spikes sticking out of the wall that have a nice kind of leaf filigree topper on the end that is big enough to actually set a whole suit of armor on top of. You get the feeling that this is very much designed for people to take off their armor, hang it up, and just be not having to worry about stuff getting falling over or sitting on the ground or anything like that.
Just nude elaster, just hanging out in a pool.
I'll just kind of. I'm not gonna walk around naked. I'll just put wrap a towel around my waist and
modesty towel.
Modesty towel.
Yep, that's what they're called. Arthur does the same.
Oh, am I out of the loop? Am I supposed to use a towel, or how does this work?
Is he just walking around naked?
Just cock out.
I'm in the pool, but yes.
He's already in the pool. Zane and Zaz, what are you two doing?
As modestly as I can, I am disrobing.
Okay.
And entering the pool.
And similar to how Arthur did it with the towel around. You've been here before, Zane. You know how it is. Zaz.
Yeah, I kind of mirror my father.
Yeah. Zaz, please enlighten me.
The chair walks in.
Oh, God damn it. I swear to fucking God.
Just pageantry all the way.
He's man spreading on the chair as it's strapped in.
There's just a fucking big elf dong swinging in front of the chair.
It's
a huge Zaz.
I don't know. Carefully disrobing so I don't break off or disturb the moss and the fungi on my shoulders, so I don't break up the convoy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just jumping in, dick swinging.
And as just cannonball.
Not really cannonball, but I mean.
Okay. All right, going in, and Zaz, as you take a look at your armor, the mushrooms and the fungi seem to be reacting very well to this humidity. They all seem to almost kind of bloom a little bit more, and you can kind of see some condensation growing on the edges of the toadstools and the moss and the lichen.
Cool.
So you're all in the bath.
Just I didn't ask this earlier. What would I know about the High Palace?
You know that is where your dad worked, and that's where the king lives.
Okay,
as well
so
as
that's
many
kind of
nobles and other servants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And with that, we are going to take our break, as it is the perfect halfway point.
Right.
So, you all sit in the steamy bath. It's warm. It's pleasant. You can feel your muscles relax. You can each add 4 hit points to your pool.
Ooh, what? Wait,
Yeah.
total?
No.
Oh,
You
I was
heal
like,
people.
holy shit! Let's come here every day.
Yeah. We're going to do this forever. At quite the heavy cost. You feel relaxed. And then you all sit there for a second and go, this is great, but a conversation needs to happen.
All right, who wants to go first?
Go first. What do you mean?
Damn it, Jordan.
Okay, sorry. I'm sick and I'm barely here.
No, just if you go to random fun, Jordan's being a silly goose.
Oh.
His stuff's on point.
Yep.
All right, so we've got to have a conversation. What happened back there? What happened shortly after? The information that I just received. We need to decide what we're doing, where we're going. And I'm pretty sure that Quirion wants to ask Zane something?
Also, too, just before we delve into the more nitty-gritty, it was made apparent to me and Alastair that we will not be prosecuted for our earlier mistake.
You mean the robbery?
And you were a part of it.
I did say I wasn't.
Arthur kind of pipes up and goes, he kind of puts his fingers in his ears and goes, la 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 la.
I'm gonna wave at him, and then just slowly tell him to take his fingers out.
Yeah.
You are going to want to listen to this. There is something that you need to listen. It has to do with your son and this town in general.
Oh, DM, you got my little...
Yes, I did, yeah.
Okay.
Dick pic?
No.
ERP.
Little.
There is a lot to discuss, and bless that half elf. We learned a lot from a very short conversation. Isn't that right, Alastair?
Yes, he told me that we need to go to the area below the remains post haste.
I have a map for that.
We won't be prosecuted. We, as of tomorrow, have free reign to walk around the remains without being bothered by at least the town's guard. So that's a plus.
So that's my vote for where we go next. There's something very, very important in there that I need to get.
What are you looking for?
I don't know.
Isn't that have to do something with your dragon?
Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon, yes. He's directed me there, and it's very important that I get whatever's there. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure I'll know when I see it. Can somebody remind me, who is Tharizdun and what? It's bad. What do we know about that?
Why?
Can I roll a religion check?
Yeah.
Well, I remember we were talking about demons and demon lords, and the name Tharizdun appears in my head, and I remember it from when I was a child. And I just want to know what everybody else knows about Tharizdun.
21,
Mo.
not natural.
No. Mo. Tharizdun. A god? Question mark. Tharizdun is credited for the creation of an outer plane known as the Abyss, home of all demons. A crime for which the other gods imprisoned him. He is thought long lost, His followers are few, if any, many of which are utterly mad. You know the coming of the Oberiths are in some way, shape, or form related to Tharizdun. And you know the nickname the Chained Oblivion.
Wait.
Excuse me.
The thing in that dried lake bed. The Oberith. They're connected with him, at least as far as my menial studies can recall. That's not good.
No, I haven't been quite forthright with the chains that I carry. I was studying them, and they've seemed to have changed. Usually they're covered in runes, and they're important for religious ceremonies. But now there is the symbol of Tharizdun on them, and that's new.
Probably
and it comes
not
right,
as new as you think.
It comes right after the news of this fanatic religious cult being in town.
You mean the ranks of Akron that you accredit to Bane? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. As it is a cult, and you have been told many times that it is not the same followings as Bane, that is not a surprise. As well as many of the things that we have encountered are linked to the Abyss. Your point at Zane, as well as his book. And that is something that I have come to understand quite well.
So if I remember anything about Tharizdun, it's something to do with chains and being locked away. And now I'm wondering if I have a piece of it.
I truly doubt that.
But if I recall, that things connected to him are scarce, and for something to in some way magically bear his mark, I don't think that's a coincidence.
Not a coincidence, but everything we have encountered thus far have pointed towards him.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that my deity has shown me. I have been quiet about that quite a lot, and I will not speak their name, but they have shown me what comes out of the darkness, and why you need to be afraid of it.
There's one other thing that we need to worry about.
Quirin.
Yep.
You know what check I want you to make.
Yep.
I'll just give him a second.
Okay. That works.
Although we are quite often in the midst of other things, the human, I shouldn't say human, the non-god-like beings, mortals like us, can cause just as much danger. I have explained certain things to you, but at one time I was the part of a higher ranking family. My father earned quite a reputation for the war in service of the king of Dragontail, and it earned a certain amount of respect. Not only was he somebody that few men would ever dare to face, but he was closely connected to the king, and although I have few memories of it, that is something that I recall, and it was men that created a coup that broke in and captured my family and murdered all but 2 of my clan. I now know that one remains, that one of my sisters lives, and apparently, should we ever go to Dragontail, finding her will not be hard. I don't know what he meant, but I assumed maybe she rose to some sort of nobility, but it was the flock that did that. And I look at Zane. They murdered my family. That's it.
Zane doesn't say anything.
By the way, that tattoo on your back is your family crest, yes?
Yes.
Showing that to people to end the conversation is not exactly, would you say, normal?
But the problem with it, Quirin, is that, as I've told you, I don't remember a great deal.
Fair.
I did not become a part of the fighting pits of my own free will. The same night that my family was murdered, I was, by some unknown force, taken elsewhere, and I was sold to them. And that is the reason that my name is on that statue, is that in some way they believed that they had killed all of us, but by some unknown circumstances, a few of us escaped, and proving who I am is difficult.
True, and showing that to people is one way of doing that, but doing it in a town where you do not know and people that you recognize from your past, probably not the best idea. Which, speaking of the Dean Victor, Zane.
Latimer, you mean?
Yes, Latimer. Victor Latimer, yes.
See, I thought, to be completely honest, I thought he had 2 first names. His name was Dean Victor, which I thought was interesting. I didn't know he had
You thought his name was Dean?
Yeah, I thought it was Dean.
Zane rolls his eyes.
What? Dean is that not a first name?
I guess.
There it is. Crossed arms, hands up.
This is Corey speaking, I literally thought his first name was Dean for the longest time.
Oh no.
Dean of the College of Ioun.
Yes, I understand, I know.
Oh, someone posted random song.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got you covered.
Thank you. Somebody draw horns on that for me.
Well, yes. The Dean that is in control of this town, making people disappear, and most likely in control of the entire flock.
And also, from what I can tell, is in control of Zane's lovely girlfriend.
And I look at my father. Has he scoped out any sort of reaction yet?
He's kind of looking over to you.
He's defensive. I was correct. Point 1 for Lasta.
Yes, that is your boss, the crime boss.
Wait, my boss? What?
Not yours.
Oh, okay. That's those are some strong allegations, gentlemen.
Allegations.
It's when you
Zane,
accuse somebody of something.
are you gonna participate in this conversation, or?
As a member of the flock, Zane.
There we go, Quirin.
It is time to air things out.
Zane's kind of speechless. Look, I've only been listening to this book that I've had for, what, a couple of days, a couple of weeks? I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't know what I was doing up until now, and I'm not one of them.
But they want that book.
And as far as we're concerned, if Zane does not want to give it to them, then we'll do everything in our power to not let them have it.
Then that is fine. But you, in a town where you are in danger, and your family is in danger, who is working for a man that is in control of this town, you need to explain...
Yes, right, danger. Okay, thank you. I turn to my father and I say, Dad, if there's anything... If you listen to anything that I say, please leave town, like I've told you before. You almost lost me again today, and it's I don't know how to say this. Dean Latimer isn't who you think he is. He is, in fact, part of the flock, and...
Zane, you feel something touch your foot.
I look down.
You don't see anything.
Okay.
The water's clear.
Okay. But, anyways, if you listen to anything I have to say, you and Mother are in danger, and you need to leave this town, this city.
It touches your foot again.
Oh, for fuck's sake. And I look down again.
What?
What are you looking at?
Nothing.
Corey, you can say that out, right?
Yeah.
What does that sense?
Detect good and evil. Sense anything affected by a hell spell, or know the location of celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
Nope.
So yes, affected by hell?
Nope. You don't sense anything.
Okay, well, what's wrong, Zane?
Nothing. Regardless, I almost, without these people, without the Devil's Advocates, I wouldn't be here right now. Because of Dean Latimer and his underlings.
He kind of looks at you for a second and goes,
the only thing I want is for you guys to be safe.
Kind of, he sighs for a second. Zane, there's something you need to understand. It's not as simple as just picking up and moving.
What's so simple? What's so complex about it?
There's purchasing a new home. Your sister is buried here, and Zane, suddenly he just vanishes in front of you.
My father?
Yeah. As you look, it's just almost instantaneous. But you look down, and Arthur is under the water and dragged to the center of the pool.
Nope.
Who would like a visual aid?
Yes! Make it
By the way, guys, if you could all, with the exception of Quirin, readjust your armor class to 10 plus your dex, because you're all naked.
Okay.
My armor wasn't that great to begin with.
Your armor class
Fuck off
changed.
with that Arthur token!
I told you. You told me. What does he look like? He's like Zane with a mustache. So is Zane with a mustache.
The best.
I said, it's like he's got a Tom Selleck mustache, right? Yep. So I went and got Tom Selleck's mustache.
Are we rolling for initiative?
We're rolling for initiative, boys.
I've got nothing. I've got literally nothing.
This is great.
16. Okay.
Do I have my weapons on me?
No.
Nope. You're naked.
So I don't have my Rod of the Pact Keeper, or is that not my
Nope.
dick?
Oh God.
Ooh. If you would like to find out if his Rod of the Pact Keeper is his dick,
Hit
press
4
one in the
now.
chat.
Email Raid Shadow Legends and tell.
Oh shit! Wrong chat. I rolled a. That was in random fun.
You rolled a 14, Mo?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Alaster up first. We have following him, we have Mo. And then we have Quirin. And then we have Zaz.
That Corn was before Mo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Quirin.
thought Mo rolled a 16 as well.
I rolled a 14.
Oh, a 14. My apologies. I misheard you. My bad. Quirin, then Mo. And then we have good old Zane. All right. Top of the round. Alaster, you're naked and afraid. What would you like to do? Arthur is underwater, and he only has a calm modifier of 0.
Is he showing signs of drowning, or is he
He
just
is.
confused?
I'm
There's
Shit.
bubbles.
To go and grab him and pull him to the surface.
Make a strength check then.
Can do. Just strength, not athletic.
It'd be strength. Oh, by the way, this is difficult terrain as well. Your movement speeds have.
Oh, okay. So what the fuck was I?
You didn't put a space.
Sorry. So I guess I only have 15.
Yeah, you can still get to
So-
him.
Oh, okay. 12.
You go to pull him, and something is fucking holding him underwater. You don't see a thing. And even as you grab him, you don't feel anything. Quirin, you're up. What would you like to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to take a step out of the bath,
Yep.
and then I'm going to ready a sacred flame, and wait. Wait till I see anything.
Okay. Mo, you are up. Naked and afraid, buddy.
Where would my stuff be?
By Quirin right now.
By Quirin. Okay.
That character token still makes me laugh.
I asked her, like, what does your father look like? Yeah, with getting out of the pool, yeah, you'd be able to do that. Yeah, so right
gonna go
there is where your stuff will be. Yep.
And what is it to put on armor? Is that an act?
Donning armor?
Donning armor? What kind of armor do you have?
It's just chain.
That would take
chain?
10 rounds.
Okay, then
Take a
I'm just
minute.
gonna grab my 2 weapons, which
Yep.
yeah. At least now I have an AC of 13. Haha.
Yeah, you get your +1 because of 2 weapon fighting. That's true. I'll give you that. Yep. Haha.
And I'll hold chill touch for any sort of for another creature other than us to emerge from the pool.
Understood. Zaz, what are you doing, buddy?
I'm going to take a step out of the pool
Okay.
and cast Detect Magic.
The water itself is magical.
Okay.
Enchantment.
And that's it.
All right. Zane, Daddy's drowning.
Save your daddy.
Save your daddy, Yugi boy.
So we have 15 paces of movement?
Pretty much, yeah.
That puts me right next to him. Am I, like, on him, or can I reach for him?
You can reach for him. Yeah.
Okay, I do so.
You slosh through. You reach for him. Are you trying to pull him out as your action?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need you to make a strength check.
Oh, good lord.
He's not moving, and at this point, Zane, you see his eyes kind of glaze over.
I turn to everyone else and be like, help!
So, as you do that, suddenly the water constricting your father just above him begins to twist and turn and forms a giant, almost snake-like creature, because I needed you guys to fight a water weird today. That's just what I needed in my life. That's it.
Okay.
So, Chill Touch and Sacred Flame. That is a what save for Sacred Flame?
Dex.
Dex. Oh my god, that's quite the Dex score. 17.
It misses.
Okay. And then Mo, you Chill Touch. Is that a melee? Is that a spell attack, or is that a save?
Spell attack. Spell attack.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the hit.
That's
11 doesn't hit, so it kind of swirls up, and you're both kind of caught off guard. Both kind of just kind of go wide. It's going to take an attack against you, Alastair.
Yep.
What is your armor class?
10.
So you're telling me that an 18 hits?
Yep.
All right.
You don't have any dex?
I could hear the smirk.
So that is lots of dice. So you're going to go ahead and take 11 points of bludgeoning damage. And you are considered grappled.
Oh.
And you are drowning.
Oh.
So at this point now, both Arthur and Alastair are struggling. Zane,
Yeah.
you just roll a d20 for me.
Oh, good lord.
Oh, Arthur saves one of his death saving throws.
Oh my god! Are you really
Alastair.
gonna kill my dad?
You are up. It is an action to try and break free from this grapple. Now, being grappled, it just means you can't move. You can still take actions.
Okay. I am going to make a strength check to pull her father away from it.
Okay.
Why does it let him go?
Nope. This is
Okay.
a homebrew water weird.
Okay. 18.
18 will do it. So, you reach down, you pull Arthur up, and there's a as he breathes in air, but you're holding, and you're still kind of grappled above the water, holding Arthur. What would you like? Anything else? You have a bonus action. That's pretty much it.
And I can't do anything for bonus action.
Okay?
Except I'm going to wriggle furiously.
Okay. Doesn't do anything.
I know.
Clear it. You are up. What would you like to do?
So Arthur is out of the water. Is he breathing or is he still down?
He is breathing now.
Okay, so he's no longer making death saves?
No.
Yeah. Gonna go over here and try and hit it with another Sacred Flame.
All right, that's a dex save of... What is your DC?
15.
That's what I did.
Ah, damn.
Yeah. It's got a good dex, actually.
Yep, well, it's water.
I mean, it is water.
Yeah, which is fair. That ends your turn?
Yep.
Mo, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna move. Actually, I just want to check the range of a spell. Oh, 60 feet, no biggie. Oh, that was weird. Two screens superimposed over each other at the same time. That was darn good. That's 10. And then that would be 20.
That'd be 30.
That'd be 30.
Yeah, you can take a dash action if you want. You'd only be able to move another 15 feet.
I want to see. It's water. I hope it's not wise. Toll the Dead. That's a wisdom save of 13.
Natural 3.
So that is
It hasn't been damaged yet, correct?
No, it has not been damaged.
Okay, so that is 2d8.
Points to damage. So as you kind of faintly in the distance hear a raven caw, the water weird kind of turns almost snake-like towards you, Mo. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Zaz.
Zane.
Cast Call Lightning. I dare you.
Thought about it.
There is 4 other people in water right now.
Do it.
This would be the most I could knock unconscious in one spell.
Do it. Fuck it.
No.
Come on.
Tried.
I'm almost full health.
Yeah, but you got a warlock and his weak, squishy dad in there. No.
I'm thinking it's about
You can
time
bring
for
him back.
Mickety Moonbeam.
Mickety Moonbeam. Where is my Moonbeam token? There she bibbidi.
I was gonna say nice and do that, but I don't know if I want to do that. Niggity nice.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, and so that's a save for me of. I always forget this.
Constitution.
I thought it was con, but it just seemed wrong in my head. Constitution. Your DC is higher than 10, I hope.
Yeah, it's con 14.
Yeah, so that hit. Yeah, it's taking damage, full damage.
Gucci. You sick?
Ooh, a 12. So as it kind of turns towards Yumo, suddenly light shines down on its head, and it kind of looks up. And usually, what you see is people kind of burn in the moonbeam. What you see is the water weird begin to bubble, like it's boiling. Anything else?
Just gonna kind of like shift closer over here,
Okay.
and that'll be it.
All right, Zane, you're up. What would you like to do?
Goodness. I would like to.
Rage.
I'm in the middle of this mess, right? I thought
Yeah.
Arthur was out of the pool.
He's being held above the water by Alastair.
Okay. I would like. I would like to cast Eldritch Blast on the water weird.
Okay, it's only the plus. It'd be +6 for you to hit, I believe. Or +7 for you to hit.
7?
Yeah.
Ouch.
First beam doesn't hit. What about the second one?
Better.
24 definitely hits. So go ahead and roll your 1d10, and it's +4 because it only adds your charisma modifier for
Okay.
that. 12. So as it begins to boil, you kind of see it turn away from you. You take your opportunity, Zane, and still focusing on your dad. One goes wide, the other one shoots, and it hits. It goes almost. It appears almost to go like right through it, but you see the water kind of separate and slowly begin to kind of reform. Anything else?
I turn to Alastair and I shout, "Is he all right?"
I'm underwater.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can try to respond. At this point, Zane, you realize Alastair's underwater. Does that end your turn?
Yes.
All right. Alastair, because you are constricted by the water weird, it is going to use its action to tighten the bind. It's going to do now 4d6 damage. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, that's the first time I've rolled 6 4 times in a row.
Ooh,
Okay.
spicy.
24 points of bludgeoning damage.
That hurt real bad.
And it's going to attempt to make a constrict attack on Arthur. It misses. And it's going to make its dex save in retrospect. Half damage from use as. For Moonbeam. Yeah.
Yep.
What is half of 17? It's math. 8. Oh, wow. Okay. Note to self, give shit more health. It's looking pretty wounded.
For water.
Yes. As wounded as water could be. It's starting to turn into steam.
Quick, the water's hurt, get it.
To be fair, this is the most comfortable drowning I've ever had.
That's fair. It's tight. Alastair, you're up. What would you like to do?
I'm going to use my action to try and
Escape?
and get to the surface for some delicious air.
And what did we learn?
We learned that I did my job correctly and got Zane's dad out of the water of the death grip.
And water hurts.
18.
18 succeeds, yeah.
And...
So you are no longer constricted and your head is above water.
Okay, then I am going to swim the fuck away.
You can get one more square.
Okay, I'm gonna just hop up on the edge, I guess.
Isn't he
Okay.
taking Arthur along with him?
I don't know, are you?
I would say yeah, so I guess I get, what,
You get
10?
quarter speed.
Yeah.
So... It's a quarter of 30.
Basic math.
10?
It's 7.5. So I'm going to give you 10 feet.
Okay. So I guess I will get
Right there.
there. Yeah.
And it's going to take a attack at you, Alastair, when you move away. First reaction. Nat 20.
Oh.
That's 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Sweet. I'm looking
Double the dice.
very, very hurt. There's
Bathhouse
blood around
episode!
me. Yeah, fuck yeah. There's blood clouding the water now.
All right. Quirin, you're up. What would you like to do?
Right there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to hit it with the Sick Flame.
All right. That's a save on my part.
Save 15.
Natural 18.
Yep, and that's my turn.
All right. Mo, you're up.
I'm seeing everybody trying to stay away from it. I'm gonna kind of get in the same boat, and that's
Wait to the water.
get off there.
Nope.
And then
Too warm.
So it was... Stop it, you!
Ooh, it hurts.
Oh, that's walking
Oh,
into
God.
a too cold
So
pool
warm
and
on my
going,
nuts.
oh, my balls.
Yeah.
Everybody's forgotten about their towel. They're just
Yeah.
all falling off.
Just dicks a swinging, with the exception of Quirin.
Hey.
And then I'm gonna throw another Toll the Dead at it. So that's a
All right.
wisdom of 13.
Let's see. Natural 3 again.
Nice. So because it is taking damage, that is 2
Yep.
d12. Oh, that's
That hurt. Oh, that sucks. Again, there's a car somewhere, and he kind of turns, looks around, doesn't see anything. Kind of shudders a little bit. Mo, does that end your turn?
Yeah.
Zaz.
I'm not fucking your thing.
I'm gonna go dip my feet back in the water
Okay.
and just keep Moonbeam there.
Okay. You just gotta put your feet in the water?
Yeah.
All right. Zane, you're up. What would you like to do?
As long as my father's up, another 2 Eldritch Blasts.
All right. 7 to hit.
Okay, here's the first. Here's
Yeah.
the second.
No. So you get 1d10 plus 4. Ooh.
Another 12.
It is looking so rough. Oh. And there's no point rolling. Zane, do you end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, you watch as the water weird begins to bubble in the moonbeam. Because it has 1 health left and moonbeam does half damage no matter what, I assume you're going to do at least 1 damage to it, because that's how dice work.
That's the plan.
Yeah. So the water weird just kind of begins to bubble and sizzle and evaporates. You're now out of initiative order.
What the fuck was that?
Water.
Oh, all right, let's get off out.
And I go to my
Alright,
dad's
everybody on the
aid
pool.
immediately.
Arthur's just kind of there wide-eyed. He goes, it was just water.
Is that normal for here?
I don't think it was included in the price, Mo. No.
I'm gonna look him straight in the face. It's complicated.
You better
See-
get your money back. Oh.
Dad, you're in danger. You
Oh,
can't be
shit.
here anymore.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm not coming back here.
Not very good service.
No, Mo. If you have any more one-liners, please just spit them out now while I can't reach over and smack you.
I'm going to hop out and grab my armor, and I'm
Yep.
going to throw it in the pool quickly
Okay.
to get some of the shit off of it and like
Good call.
wriggle it around, wash it off, and then push it
Yeah,
out
I
and grab
think
a
that's a good
towel
idea.
and clean it off.
All right. You guys
I'll
all
just clean
get
the
relatively
armor.
clean up.
How many times am I going to be attacked before I sleep tonight? I need so. Ow. Just like purple bruising all the way around my rib cage. I've got blood coming out of every orifice.
Quirin's walking by with a little song in his head.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Walking on sunshine.
Whoa.
So, I believe we were interrupted when we were talking.
Let everybody get dressed, and then we'll talk on the way back.
Fuck
I am
that.
dressed.
I helped my dad out of the tub.
Yeah. He kind of gets up, and there's some visible bruising around his shoulders and his ankles and his wrists from where he was being held.
Quirin, can you help?
But this is much more of a better lesson for him.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I have a similar sentiment. Are you kidding me?
Hey, you're the one that wants to live in a town where people keep missing and you keep ignoring it. And I'm gonna go over and level 1 heal wounds on him.
Oh, we don't ignore it. There's flyers all over the university.
Flyers. Oh, that helps with people being stolen.
See, I was going to say that Quirin doesn't really like to heal people, but he's proved himself worthy or whatever. Anyway, let's go and murder that guy at the beginning and take all of his money.
What if he had nothing to do with it?
I don't care.
It's his establishment. He is still to blame.
Let's not commit any more crime. No, we're in the public eye. You guys just start walking out.
Okay. As God damn it. Well, let's not do any more crime. I'm a sarcastic Goliath.
I'm going
As
to...
you walk out,
Yeah.
Quirin, and the rest of you, I assume you will follow in due time. Quirin, you walk out of the room, and you look at the desk, and there's a small dwarven woman there.
Hello.
Hi.
But is there a tiny gay man that was here before?
No, I've been here all day. How did you get in there?
We bought it from the tiny gay man, which means probably that he was here to kill us. Because we just had to fight a bunch of water.
Okay, are you on any
I'm
drugs?
just gonna point him towards Alastair.
Just
Oh,
like
dear.
still blood coming out of my
There's-
eyes and ears and mouth. And I'm
There
purple
appears
from the neck down.
to be some sort of water creature in one of your pools. It might not be there. We did have to murder it. And
Get out!
I'm sorry.
Just. Okay.
We want our money back now!
I don't have any of your money.
so who was the so where were you when we came in then? On break.
Here. All day.
Probably not. It probably some sort of spell, and then you really imagine being back here. We have a lot of enemies. It happens.
Okay.
So-
please leave and take your enemies with you.
On a scale of 5 stars, I give this place half a star.
That's fine. You can go write it on ye old Yelp, I guess.
The hell is that?
I see.
Don't
I
ask.
see. Is there anything in the the foyer that would be like expensive or?
Oh no.
You're the guy that steals the pen?
Yes. Yeah. Is there like a fancy pen?
There is a very nice quill pen that she was writing with.
No, that's not gonna do because I already have a fancy pen. What else is there like
I
that I
have
can
one.
just?
What are you
take?
talking about?
Everything here is expensive and fancy.
Oh, is there like a planter with like a flower on it somewhere?
There is like golden bowls with like petunias in them.
Zaz has all his shit. He's just leaving.
Yeah, Zaz
I'm
is just
with-
walking out.
Yep.
As I walk out, I'm just going to knock over a planter onto the ground. And then just leave.
Okay. Could you all make a perception check for me,
Oh
please?
Christ.
What's my perception?
Alas, they're very perceptive, very hurt.
22.
18.
18.
5.
Some of us are rolling good.
Zaz, you're the only one that hears it.
Mm.
You swear, just as you're about to get to the door, somewhere in the room, distantly, you hear, Guten Tag.
Okay. Side note, DM, I imagine you still with that little, just like 2 words. You did the hand signs, like the hand.
Oh, yeah.
signs. Yeah, that's so.
I need to sleep now. Narcoleptic.
I need to sleep now.com. I'm sorry. All right. So,
Fortnite
what-
burger.
oh God, don't. All right. What are you guys doing?
Are we going to an inn or what are we doing?
I think we
We
go
could-
back to the inn that we were in before.
Yes, let's go.
Okay, you guys were given a name for that inn. It's called the High Hopes.
High
Thank you.
hopes. Thank you.
Yeah,
I don't have high hopes.
exactly.
My hopes have been crushed into the ground. Beeline
Alright.
straight there, looking at the ground. Just defeated.
Okay. Excuse me.
This is what Alastair looks like with 2 health points.
Zane, are you heading back to your parents' house?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, you must have been muted. Okay, so at this point, it's late at night. You all head back to your respective lodgings. Zane, you take your father back to the Sneddy's household, and we will roleplay that at a later date. The rest of you head back to the tavern. Is there anything you'd like to do?
It's amazing, Zane, Zaz. We talked a bunch, but nobody said anything about you.
Yeah, it's kind of the norm. That's okay, though. I didn't have much to say.
I have 3 theories behind you.
Well, there's nothing behind me right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god.
1, you don't care that you got over here. You don't care about getting back. 2, you know how you got over here. Or 3, you know your way back. You're very flippant for being in some place you don't know.
Okay.
Quirin,
Yes.
I do believe that me and Alastair, and I assume Alastair's gone to bed by this
Oh
point.
yeah, I just
Just beelines.
not
Hey,
even
Alastair.
talking to like anybody at a desk. Just gonna go upstairs.
Yeah. Alastair, take your long rest. I know you're craving it. You're welcome.
It's been 3 sessions.
Yeah.
We had a interesting conversation with that. What's that guy's name?
Let me bring up his sheet here. I do apologize. It's Jorson.
Jorson.
Jorson Benrona.
Jorson informed me that and I don't he seemed to find a lot of things amusing. And apparently one of my sisters is alive, and apparently the High Palace is, well, if that's where he said I could find her, and that means can only mean good things. So it is possible that the endeavor with the Slad or anything that way, we might get more help than we had thought. Because
Okay.
I'm sure I could, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm sure there are a few favors that I could call on.
True, but we need to pass through the town with the person, and then if we do not have the remedy by then, we have to convince them to go to the major city and then get cured there.
Yeah, but also, so that's the whole thing, is that those 2 towns are the places that I would be most at home, because Swordbreak is a military city. So.
What do you think
And
of?
Zane was able to get away without answering anything.
That is his own fault, and if they want to convince his dad, then that he really needs to talk to him. But, oh well, it does not matter for me. Getting up, and then just go off to bed.
All right. Mo and Zaz, your last 2 awake.
I'm gonna stay up.
Okay.
That's me saying it to Mo.
Something you want to do?
No, I'm just not tired yet. But I don't know. What about you?
I'm gonna go to bed eventually, but anything you want to say?
Nothing at the moment. Although I think I'm gonna go talk to the barkeep. You know, elf things.
I'll go upstairs and go to bed and collect my long rest.
All right.
They make my way over to the bar.
Okay.
I'll call the barkeep over. It's
Okay.
elf woman, right?
It is an elf woman, yes.
Okay. Call her over to the bar.
Yes, what can I do for you?
I'll have some tea, please. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but me and my friends, we're a bunch of guns.
Sure you are.
I don't think I'm using that right yet.
You're definitely. Do you know what a gun is?
No, just I'll get it.
Oh,
Just tea, please.
oh, okay. She goes and fetches you some. She starts making some tea behind the bar.
And then
Brings
that's
it
it. I'm
over.
just sip my tea quietly.
Okay.
This is so gun.
You gun, we gun, gunology, the study of gun.
Gunology? I didn't realize you were a gunologist.
All right. So Zaz, you're just sipping your tea?
hmm
Okay. I assume you just sip your tea and then go to bed?
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, because that's usually where I'd say, and that's where we're going to pick up next week, but it's not.
Oh.
Because it's interesting, Queer, that you say, oh, Zaz, you didn't say anything. Because Zaz,
hmm
in your meditation, because you don't sleep per se,
Yeah.
you hear a voice come to you. A woman's voice. Very soothing and sweet.
hmm
She says, it's interesting. I don't believe I've ever encountered someone quite as astute with the fungi and the lichen as you.
Is this a conversation?
It is.
I don't think there's anyone quite like me.
I think I like that about you. What is your name?
Depending on who's asking, Dakrin.
I think you're lying to me.
Well, if you're that astute, I'm Zaz.
Hello, Zaz. There's not many on this plane who have interest in fungi and the other spore-based creatures in the world.
Hmm. And who do I have the pleasure of discussing this with?
I go by many names.
Such as?
You're a funny one. I think I'm going to like you. Some call me the Queen of Rot. Others call me a menace. I prefer my real name, so you can just call me Zuktmoy.
Okay.
I assume you haven't heard of me.
You have many names. I'm assuming I might know you from something else? Maybe? Off chance?
I like you. You're clever. I was listening in on your conversation today.
The gun ones?
No.
Okay,
Zaz.
cool.
The one- I was listening. And I heard you mention, or your friend mention, the Abyss.
hmm
I am somewhat of an expert on such a place.
Okay.
If you help me, I might be able to assist you. And since we have common interests in the mold and the things that grow and spread, I thought, well, perhaps you might be interested in a little bit of extra power, perhaps.
Go on.
Your friend, he made a deal with something, correct?
I believe so.
I'm thinking something similar.
I'm listening.
I can provide you with similar yet different powers to assist you in your travels. And in return, all I ask is some assistance. You see, I share my domain with a pest. And my time to strike it's not right. But when it is, I could surely use someone such as yourself on my side.
Before we get any further in this, would this be a mutual relationship or subservient?
That depends on what you would like.
Oh, my friend, there's a lot I'd like. What do you have to
Interesting.
give?
Well, we'll start off small. I can give you access to a certain type of magic from the weave that perhaps you hadn't considered before. And all I ask in return is that when I decide to wage war against the Lord of Ooze, you assist me.
Can I have some time to think about this?
Of course.
When you say Lord of Ooze, does that cover all oozes and possibly
All
gels?
oozes. Oozes, gels, and other gelatinous beings. Yes.
I have a cube.
I know.
You do?
I do.
You know a lot of things.
I do. And it's very interesting that someone who controls fungi and spores with such mastery is able to create such a useful servant out of my enemies. And you inspire me, Zaz. You inspire me.
Okay.
I'm being dramatic.
I know.
Okay.
This is a great sleep I'm having.
Oh, isn't it?
Hmm.
But don't worry. I'll be with you. And if at any point you want to make a deal, just let me know.
Okay. Tell you what, same time tomorrow?
Sounds good.
Alright. Till then, can I get a nickname or anything to make it all the easier to address you?
Just call me Zuck Tmoy.
Is Zucky okay?
The Zuck.
Yeah, the big Zuck.
I'll allow it temporarily, but we'll have to find something better.
Please call me Zuckerberg. I'm so sorry.
You can sleep on the couch now.
Alright. I'll give it some thought. Do pay attention tomorrow, Zucky. I'll talk to you then.
And there's no response. So congratulations, guys. At this point, level 7. Zaz,
Yo.
from this point forward, you now have the option to multi-class into Warlock if you so choose.
Ooh, interesting.
So if you could all roll for your health.
Oh boy.
Yay.
I don't even know what my hit points are.
So you have just roll one of your hit dice plus your con modifier, and we're going to see how much extra HP you get next level.
Sorry, what do I roll?
It'll be like a hit dice. So for druids, I think you have d8s.
We reroll ones, right? That's the way
Reroll
this
ones,
works.
yes.
9.
9. Yeah, so Mo, you'll get to reroll that. Because I know.
What is that?
Oh my God, you get to
Explain
reroll it
that.
again. Roll another one. Zane, you'll roll a d8 plus your con modifier.
Okay.
Yep. And that'll be added to your hit point maximum.
Okay, there we go.
So my hit dice is D8. So I roll a D8 and then what?
Yep. Plus your con modifier.
So what do I roll again?
1d8 plus your con modifier.
Can we change that to 12 so my hit points can be 69?
No.
Shit.
Hey. So add 8 to your hit point maximum, Zane, permanently.
Okay.
Same with you, Zaz. And go through the we'll go through the process of leveling everyone to 7 off stream, because I think people's proficiency bonuses might change soon. I'm not sure. 7 should be a fairly dull level for everybody.
Except for maybe
Seven's
Zaz. Or,
except for maybe.
oh.
I think actually no. I think Zane might get an extra Eldritch Invocation. So
I
there's
get
some
more
reading you'll have to do
spells.
there, Smoothie. You will get more spells, yes. But that can all happen throughout the course of the week. But we're going to end it there. Thank you, everyone who stayed through to tonight. And hope you it was as enjoyable for you as it was for us.
My dad almost died.
Bon nuit!
Bon nuit.
Bon
Bon
nuit!
nuit.
Bon nuit!